Welcome back, everyone, for an underperforming Underwood Cobra Kai Season 4 watch party. In an all-valley tournament full of twists and surprises, Carrie Underwood coming out as a special guest was one of the biggest. She's a big fan of the show, and the creators saw an opportunity to get her on. Zach Robinson had called it the Netflix effect in my livestream the day Season 4 was released. They even created a whole narrative and backstory to support it. Ron had always wanted a special guest for the All Valley, but nothing worked out. He's a dentist. Carrie's husband, who is a hockey player, would need frequent dental work. He was Ron's patient, thus he was able to make the booking. So certainly some thought went into it. Unfortunately, it appears that is where the careful thought and consideration ends. There are a large number of fans who didn't like it at all. According to a poll I ran, the vast majority have no specific care. Honestly, that's not a good result for a guest star. I think you would want the I loved it number to be around 40 to 50% to really feel like it's a success, especially for a guest star meant to be broad appealing. Now, I personally have nothing against her and had no issue with her showing up for the tournament to sing. I also don't have anything against The Moment of Truth, which is what she sang. It is from the original Karate Kid soundtrack, and we even had an episode of Cobra Kai with that title. It was the episode Tori showed up, and Johnny elevated Kreese to sensei, so there is a connection. Obviously, though, it's not You're the Best Around. And that's what everyone was expecting. I tried to tell people for a long time that song is being deliberately saved for the end, but that doesn't stop anyone in their quest for instant gratification. It'll show up just at another time. Remember, that song is about Daniel and Johnny at their first tournament. However it's used, it will involve them more directly. That said, the entire montage and sequence falls short. People don't like it for a reason, and it's not just because they don't like Carrie Underwood. I would go as far to say this is easily the worst montage in the series so far. The problem isn't just the song, though the song is part of it. The problem is everything that's happening. There's a lot going wrong here, but let's start with the song. The Moment of Truth is a motivational song. That's good in of itself. The problem is the narrative of what's happening in the show. Consider these lyrics from the chorus. If you can do it, get up and prove it. Get up and show them who you are. So obviously that is meant to be inspiring, but notice how it's written in the second person. It's directly speaking to you, the listener. In fact, this song uses the word you 38 times. It's personal. The problem is, as the viewer, you can't attach that emotional push to any one character. The montage has no narrative. There's no story here. It's just a bunch of different short, very short clips of fights, often one move long. It's a personal song, but not a personal montage. There's no connection between the emotion of the lyrics and any character in the show. Compared to You're the Best Around in the original movie. Now that song has the word you 49 times, but consider the montage. It's all about Daniel. Even when Bobby or Johnny scored a point, it would show Daniel watching. The montage had a clear narrative and an emotional lift from the song. You can associate the emotion from the song to Daniel. Those 49 times it says you bond with Daniel and feel the inspiration from the song. I'm not sure what song would be better. Music isn't my strong suit, but I think something that plays more into the idea of a big group of competitors. You don't know who is going to win, and the audience is all rooting for different characters. That means the montage and song chosen need to account for that. Now, as for the fight montage itself, I have a lot to say. In fact, I think the ambivalence or dislike of this whole sequence is because of how bad all this is. I mentioned it in my Season 4 review, but it's worth repeating because it's so utterly true. This location apparently was not big enough, so they had to make the prelim mats extra small. It feels claustrophobic and looks ridiculous. All of it. Every single shot looks ridiculous. They had to have the fighters line up diagonally in an attempt to make it look bigger. If they lined up straight the way it's always done, it would look even more ridiculous. Seriously, this montage was doomed to fail before a single actor walked into the building. I mentioned how there is no narrative in this montage. The closest to any story being told here is that a few characters get 2 shots of what happened. Devin gets pushed out of bounds, then she wins in her next shot. A point is scored on Hawk, then he wins in his next shot. Bert scores a point, but then is eliminated by a guy we never see again. Robbie, Tori, and Sam are seen winning their matches with various looks at other competitors. But there's nothing to grasp onto, there's no story, there's no through line, and there's certainly no connection. Compare this to the tournament montage in Season 1. First off, these were actual fights because it was on a set the characters could actually move around. You can feel that this is a karate tournament, but also you can follow the story. Miguel is winning, but Sam gives him the cold shoulder. Robbie wins, which thrills Daniel, but he remembers he's supposed to be mad at Robbie. We see Bert lose, but then we see Miguel fighting the same fighter and win. Like right there is a nice piece of story because you get the feeling the fighters are progressing through the tournament. Aisha wins a fight and you're thrilled, then she loses a fight and is mad. There's more story right there than the whole Season 4 montage. Also, the person she lost to is who Miguel fights in the semifinals. It's a progression through the tournament. You can follow the characters. It's a good story. Here, it's just characters standing in place and throwing one move. There's no sense of that progression through the tournament. Hell, they even played the same clip twice. Robbie sweeps this guy, and then later he's seen sweeping the guy again. This is actually the exact same shot. Look at both parts of the montage, frame by frame. You can literally see they used the same exact shot twice. The first time they cut away, and the second time they cut to another angle of Robbie, then scoring the point. What's going on here? Did they literally not film enough horrible pretend fights to fill the montage? Let's see Nate blow that kiss to his girlfriend Lexi. And when I call them horrible pretend fights, I'm being serious. I could do a whole video on just the referees in this montage. Look closely and ask yourself what the hell is going on here. Look at this guy. He's standing like a statue. Have you ever seen a referee so disinterested in the fight? He might as well be a guard at Buckingham Palace while this match is going on. You literally can't tell the difference. That guy is everywhere too. He was also back there when Bert was fighting Gigantor. He was there in one of Dimitri's pretend fights. Also, when Tori was given 2 seconds to throw a kick, he doesn't move one muscle the entire time. In fact, I'm seriously wondering if that is a real person or just a statue they moved around in the shots. This guy is the same, all that action right in front of him, and he's not even trying to watch it or follow it. If you need a point of reference, look back at Season 1. You notice how those referees act like they're referees of a karate match? They move around, they're clearly watching the fight. Even in the original movie too, notice how the referees actually watch the fight and score points. It looks like a real karate match. But here, in this montage, statues. This woman is at least somewhat acting like she's trying to watch the fight, so there's that. This woman too, at least a little. Either way, almost nothing about this montage works as a narrative, nor does it feel like a karate tournament. That's important in a show about a big karate tournament. After the song, the preliminary rounds are ending with the quarterfinalists being set. Miyagi-Do is in second place, and Daniel says they can take the lead if they win one of the 3 matches against Cobra Kai. Now, Cobra Kai wins all 3, but wouldn't they have to win at least 2 of the 3 matches to pass them in points? If Cobra Kai were to win 2, and Miyagi-Do wins 1 of the matches, they wouldn't pass them in points. Seriously, this whole tournament structure doesn't make sense. They did claim there's a logic to it, but certainly that's not the case. Plus, this is a single elimination tournament, and this random Cobra Kai student won a match but is never seen again. Shouldn't he be in the quarterfinals? It would have been nice to see Tori win a match with a Miyagi-Do move, but they wanted it against a Miyagi-Do student and there weren't any other girls for her to fight. So we're left with this. Just don't think about it too hard. And if you want to close out on a nitpick, in this shot here, Sam is ever so slightly out of focus. If you compare her to Daniel, you can see the difference. I checked this several times to make sure it wasn't the Netflix playback, and I am sure. Maybe this would have been easier to overlook under other circumstances, but with how bad these prelim fights already look, it becomes worse. You see mistakes like this in amateur movies, not professional shows. I expect better. So that's your Carrie Underwood performance and montage. Did the show rise to its own moment of truth? Leave a comment and let me know. When you're subscribed, you're going to get a lot more fun stuff. Have a great day. I'll see you at the next watch party.